when you start the situation, your hand should be always up and body 45 degrees. Don't face him, don't provoke him. No, just keep it like this, face down. You are saying with your body language, okay, I don't want any problem. And he's gonna come to you as a bully, and from here, look how close the face is. So you can use a headbutt to the face, and it's gonna be very, very efficient. So everyone, I have to say that the strongest bone that you have is the skull. It's protecting the most important thing that you have on your body, is your brain. So of course it has to be the strongest one. So if you use the forehead against the face, absolutely sure it's gonna be the end of the fight. But careful, if the other person is shorter than you, this doesn't happen. Cannot happen. Why? Because look at this. I'm gonna do a headbutt where? On his forehead? No, it's gonna be exactly the opposite effect. Only when your face is lower than the other person's face. Okay? That's the first one. Second one, elbows. Most of the people, they kind of forget the elbow hits. Elbows, when you place the elbow in a proper way, we already made some videos about elbow hits. I have to say it's one of the most efficient techniques that you can do. From here, my hands are down, and in a straight line, this goes to the chin and end of fight. Of course, you can also do an horizontal one. A little riskier because you have to have a lot of, like, a good technique. Otherwise, you're gonna telegraph the technique, and he might anticipate that. So for that, you do immediately from here. Don't go back from there. Okay, again to the chin. That's the second one. Third, we are facing each other. Our hands are here, and he's in a cocky way. He's gonna say, what? And he's gonna show the throat. Perfect. Another amazing spot to hit. That's why the lions, when they attack usually to the throat. So let's do the same thing. Lions, they know. You place the hand in horizontal position. This L goes immediately to the throat. And you're gonna smash trachea. What happens in here? The other person stops breathing. He has to and while he's you just run away. Simple as that. Now, palm of the hand. Palm of the hand you can use at least two ways. Or straight towards the face, focus mouth and nose. But here there's one problem. If you telegraph this movement, he might flinch and drop the face, and this will hit the forehead. It's not a big deal for you, but also not a big deal for him. So it's not very painful. So I prefer, a little closer please, I prefer to the ear. So you will place your hand completely open, palm of the hand is gonna hit the ear, and what happens in here, if you do with a proper force, you might explode the eardrum. And what happens, even if it's huge, he's gonna fall. Okay, and you have time to run away. Don't forget, it's 3 seconds. 3 seconds is 1, 2, 3. Now, fingers to the eyes. If he cannot see you, he cannot hit you. So, good. So, he's in here, you relax your fingers, and you're gonna throw these 4 fingers, completely relaxed, like I said, towards the eyes. So it's gonna be 4 fingers for 2 eyes. I see people doing very stiff, doing this, or like the movies, 2 fingers. You have 4 fingers. You have 5, but 4 that might hit the eyes. So relax, because even if you hit the nose, one of them, they go to the eyes. And probably you are asking, okay, so you guys train Krav Maga, what about the groin kick? Of course, it's very efficient, but if I have to say between these attacks that I showed and groin kick or knee hit, I would prefer in here, because it's about the brain. For example, this one, the brain shakes and it goes down, eyes, he cannot see me, throat, he cannot breathe. So it's always more efficient. Might happen against someone that is high, drunk. It's always the risk that he feels the pain a few seconds after. So I prefer going through the head, because if the brain shakes, he falls. They cannot control that, even if he's really high. Another thing that you didn't see me explaining, punches. Why didn't I? Punch. punching is technical. You have to know how to close your hand. You have to know how to hit, where to hit. So it's too many things to think while we are we're dealing with this situation. And don't forget another thing. Any movement that you do, you will flinch, you will move. So, like I said, the palm of the hand, if you do a punch and it drops, the palm of the hand, nothing happens. You just do this, nothing happens to you. But the fist, you will break one finger. And don't forget that sometimes here, for example, in Montreal in the winter is minus 30 degrees. If your fingers are frozen, you're gonna punch someone, you're gonna break your finger.
So the first move we're going to look at is if we're walking on the street and somebody just grabs our arm.
Right, so say I grab you here.
Yes. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands over the person's fingers, over the knuckles, and you're going to swing your arm to grab their wrist. And once you're in this position, you will push down.
So the aggressor should fall down onto the floor.
Yes, so the aggressor will fall down because of the pressure. So if you try and stand up, you can't.
Right.
And then you can disengage and you can run away. Yes.
Yeah. So the goal is not to show off, but to protect yourself and then run
So
away.
the goal is essentially to disengage from the person and to remove yourself from the situation.
Okay.
It's not to stay and fight.
Right. And why would someone usually, like, say, grab someone?
So essentially, when they grab you, they want to control you. So you're not going to give the control to them. You have to remember that if you're a victim in this situation, you have to control what happens next. So if he wants your arm,
Yeah, instead of pushing away.
so instead of pulling it away, you hold him down towards your wrist. So you take control back from the situation. And then you swing it and you hold the wrist and then you push it downwards. All right, so the second move is if you're out and somebody just comes up to you, puts their arm around you.
Okay, so let's say, hey, what's up, girl?
Yeah, exactly. So again, this has happened. He's come into your space and he's trying to take control of your body. You can see his hips are against your hips and he's trying to control you.
So instead of pushing away, take control as well.
Exactly. So instead of pushing him away and trying to run, so you grab the wrist, you hold it down, and you just hold the person's shoulder here. Then you turn back and you swing the arm behind. And from this position, you would push down on the knee and then you disengage.
Okay, right. Shall we just do that once more for the audience to really see?
Yes.
So, right.
All right, so you would grab the wrist to control, and then you would grab.
So both arms, you're controlling both arms
So you're
right now.
controlling both arms. So essentially, if he wanted to run now, he could.
Let's say if I really want to like push you away.
Yeah,
okay.
so I've taken control of the situation, right? Then I'd swing back and I'd hold your arm against your back.
Okay, against my back here. Yep.
And then I would kick behind your knee to make you fall. And then I'd disengage and I'd run off.
All right. Right, let's do it fast. Okay, ready? Hey girl. Oh, okay, right. And now you would run away.
And then I would run away, yes. If somebody comes and grabs your hair,
Yeah, like really aggressively.
really hard, right? And it's hard in this situation because your first response is to try and flee,
Yeah, or to grab someone's hair back.
but you can't really run when somebody pulls you back this way. So you'd swing your arm over.
Ouch!
Essentially make them fall.
Okay, so if someone grabs your hair, instead of grabbing their hair back,
Yeah. So then, all right, so you'd swing your arm and you see how I sort of
I'm
let
definitely in an awkward position right now.
I let the wrist go,
Yep.
just below,
Yep.
I mean the elbow, and then I push up.
Okay, and the person should fall.
And in this situation, I can punch your face and then I can run off.
Right. Okay. So if ever you get into a cat fight, you know what to do.
Yes.
No. This is to protect yourself, not to be aggressive.
This happens a lot when you're walking on your own and somebody just comes up to you and they just grab you from behind, right? And a lot of women will panic here because they've controlled.
They would do that.
They would, they might. So, because someone's controlled your shoulders,
Yeah.
and the person has control of you essentially, right? So,
Right. Let me
this
do
is
that
what
to
you should do. We should step.
Okay. Someone comes up to you.
All right. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure that you don't want to get choked. So you're going to grab the wrist,
Okay.
and you're gonna drop down. So
Right.
you're heavy now, yeah?
Yep.
And you always have to make sure your face is turned to the side.
Why?
Because if I was still facing forward, there's a choke right there.
Okay. So protect yourself first.
Yes, because even if I have my hands here, if he's really strong, that will go. So I have to secure that, squat and be heavy, turn my neck, and then go behind you. All right? Then I would grab behind your knees.
Okay.
All right? And you see how my center of gravity is low and I'm already kind of lifting you?
Yep.
Then you pick them up and you'd go
drop them down. And if you do it this fast, it's gonna really injure someone because that person is gonna fall
and
flat.
if you're on the street, it's gonna hurt
Yeah.
because they're gonna drop onto concrete.
Yep. And you don't need strength because you're using.
You don't, because I'm low and I'm using my center of gravity to lift you up.
Okay. And so what happens from here?
So from here, if we were talking from jiu-jitsu point of view, I would go to side control and then I'd go to knee on belly.
Okay.
And I'd disengage and run away. Sometimes you're unlucky and the fight comes to the ground.
Yep.
Because he's a lot stronger and he's managed to take control of you, and now he's trying to choke you. Okay? So I would control both the elbows and push down.
Yep.
Then I would put my legs up over your shoulders.
Right.
And I would bring my hips up.
Okay. Okay. Right. So essentially, what has just happened to the aggressor?
So what happens to the aggressor is that your elbows are being controlled and pushed inwards.
Yep.
And then I'm using this like a pivot.
Okay. So you're
My-
breaking
So essentially I'm breaking.
the elbows. Yep. Okay. So let's do that for the audience to see once more. Let's break it down.
Okay.
So let's say if you end up in this situation,
Yes.
the aggressor is
So-
trying to choke you.
Yes. So the first thing I want to do is before you even put your hands around my neck, I want to secure you. Again, I don't want you to run away. So I would close my legs into a closed guard. That's what we call it in jiu-jitsu. All right? Then with your hands on my neck, I would control both your elbows.
So bring the elbows close together.
Yes.
Okay.
So bring the elbows inwards and I'd push down.
Push down. Yep.
All right? Then I'd throw my legs over your shoulders
Okay.
and I would lift my
Right.
hips up.
Got it.
Yes.
So essentially, what you're doing is closing everything and breaking.
Yes. So I'm keeping control of your elbows and I'm pinning your wrist down and I'm lifting it with my hips.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once he is in pain, or the aggressor is in pain,
Yeah. Then I would, so after that happens, and let's say I've broken your arms, I would let go, I'd kick away, and then I'd get up and run.
and run.
Yes.